Hello, welcome to TCR Express. I'm digital media editor Warren Frey, and with me I have
Russell Hixson, staff writer at the Journal of Commerce, fresh back from vacation.
back from vacation doing solo kayaking, which terrifies me even to say.
Yes, paddling around. For those who know the Lower Mainland, I was paddling around Pitt Lake and camping, it's one of the largest tidal lakes in the world. It was a lot of fun. It was good, but now I'm
No,
back.
and now you're back on the grind.
Hmm.
So what's happening on said grind?
Well, one of the first things I noticed when I returned from my paddle trip was that Metro Vancouver has canceled their contract with Acciona, their contractor for the wastewater treatment facility in North Vancouver, which is close to $1 billion project. This is wild.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
biggie.
because when I left on vacation, there was troubling signs from the project. Acciona had laid off a bunch of workers. Metro Vancouver was publicly criticizing them and saying that they had, quote, abandoned the project. Just a lot of turmoil. And now it looks like they've officially canceled their contract with them, stating that Konya has not delivered on the deadlines that they said that they would, and the project is significantly over budget. However, the contractor says that um, when they took on the contract, there were a lot of things that were not worked out. That it was a lot of things came up that were out of their control and that was
Mhm.
not dictated to them, and that they're still owed $100 million. It's messy. It's going to go to court for sure. It's going to be hashed out, and it's going to be ugly, and it's unfortunate because I mean this is a really needed infrastructure project for water treatment in Metro Vancouver, and they're trying to very quickly find a new contractor for this so it can be built.
Which cannot be easy.
No, no, this is a large project, and I mean it's a lot of time and effort for someone to take it on. So we'll see we'll see what happens and how long it takes for them to award a new contract for this and to take over this project. And also, I'm curious to see what happens between Metro Vancouver and Acciona, because I mean I can't imagine this not going to court because they
No, you're
claim they're
right.
owed $100 million or more. And then, of course, Metro Vancouver claims that they have not delivered what they said they would deliver. Um, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, yeah, and you've got some more stuff coming up, I believe, as well, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm scheduled to speak with the city of Edmonton about a project that they broke ground on recently. I think it's Canada's first urban ceremonial site for Indigenous people. So it's where Indigenous people can do all sorts of traditional ceremonies and things within the city of Edmonton. So I want to know, what entails building a project like that? What will it be used for? Are there other urban sites of this nature in the works? So I'm definitely curious about that. So I'm hopefully going to be speaking with the city very, very soon about it. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that we dropped the second part of our Cracks in the
Mhm.
Foundation series. Me, Angela Gismondi, and Don Wall over at the Daily Commercial News all have been writing stories where we spoke with people who have substance use issues and work in the trades, and they went into great detail about what it's like to use substances while you're in the trades, um, and how they were able to get treatment and live in recovery. Just a lot of fascinating stuff. And I actually was just chatting with my source, Trevor Botkin, who's the
Mhm.
executive director for Hero Work, and he's about to be honored by the city of Victoria. Um, so that's really cool for his charity work
Mhm.
and a lot of the projects that he's got going on. So if you haven't checked it out already, you can hear my entire conversation with Trevor, who is a carpenter and a director of a construction charity on Vancouver Island, on this podcast just a few weeks ago. And
Exactly.
you can
Two
also read
parts.
the story. Yeah. And you can also read all our stories in the Journal of Commerce at canada.constructconnect.com/JOC.
And Angela also has a 3-part video series with someone recovering from substance use, which is quite emotional, but well
Yeah, I
worth
believe
checking
he's an
out.
iron worker.
And he worked on the Gordie Howe International Bridge after
Mhm.
he got out of recovery, or as he would say, he's continuing to recover every day. But yes, but he
Yeah.
got
And I think one of
went
the
to
really great things that he said, sorry to cut you off. One of the
no, that's
interesting
fine.
things that he said was, he was so terrified to admit to people that he knew that he had a problem. And then he said
Mhm.
when he finally came clean about it, he was shocked at how much like help and support that he got, not only from his friends and family, but also from his union. So that's really cool.
Mhm.
So yeah, check it out.
And from the East, Donwall writes that Ontario's non-residential construction employers will benefit from a major drop in workplace safety and insurance board premium rates next year, savings they've been anticipating for years. After a decade of declining injury rates, with the WSIB's unfunded liability paid off a few years ago, and the non-residential contractors now in a separate employer class and are more injury-prone colleagues in residential construction, the non-residential contractors will see a drastic rate cut in 2022. Quote, the change is very significant, said David Frame, Director of Government Relations for the Ontario General Contractors Association and a former WSIB executive. Quote, for many years we were paying the highest premiums in Canada in order to get the unfunded liability paid down. Now the unfunded liability is paid down and we're being rewarded for that. End quote. On October 6, it was announced that the G6 class will pay $1.79 in 2022. It's a substantial change, 51 cents on every $100 of premium, said Frame. And staff writer Angela Gismondi is reporting that EllisDon was selected to design, build, and maintain the Canadian Pavilion in Expo 2020 in Dubai, which officially opened at the beginning of October. Angela spoke with Wissam Ayoub, who's the Senior Vice President of EllisDon Middle East and North Africa, to talk about the design and construction of the pavilion. EllisDon worked with consortium members Moriyama and Tashima Architects, Amana, Lord Cultural Resources, Hatch, Cubic, Thornton Tomasetti, and NGX to deliver a pavilion that represents all Canadians and cultures. The building reflects the theme of Expo 2020, which is connecting minds and creating the future. With a focus on sustainability, the exterior is a circle and it's wrapped in a wooden geometric lattice made from Canadian wood. The pavilion also features an immersive journey of artistic expression through a 360-degree theater experience inspired by the Canadian landscape. And something else Angela's reporting on is that the Residential Construction Council of Ontario will be hosting its first annual Women in Construction webinar on October 20th, highlighting and celebrating women in the industry. The event will include a presentation by France Deviat of the Canadian Apprenticeship Forum and an interactive Q&A and panel discussion moderated by Jennifer Green of Skills Ontario and featuring Alexander Wells from Tile Setter, Mariam Amin, Assistant Production Manager, and Bailey Wood, a licensed plumber and gas fitter. And if you'd like to hear other episodes of TCR Express or the Construction Record podcast, you can check us out at Amazon Music, Apple Music, and Spotify, or on the Daily Commercial News or Journal of Commerce websites. And make sure to tune in on Friday for our interview with Nadia Todorova of RCCAO and Patrick McManus of OWSCA, where they'll address the delays in locates in Ontario and how it's affecting the construction industry. Thanks for listening.